Back in 2016, I gather he offered sort of a mea culpa for that today.
He did. And you see, not underestimate the help that the Christie endorsement was for Trump back then. He was the first national figure of his stature to endorse him. And Trump, helped to pay off his campaign debts. Christie had his eye back then on maybe Trump's mistake or maybe
Welcome, everybody. This is Leslie Medley from the HSA. And I think we still have people joining. For folks who are on now, thanks for joining us. We have a few minutes till we start, but maybe use this time to sign into use the chat to sign in. Your name, your email address, and your student's name or names. And we will get started in just a few minutes. I'm on mute. All right. Looks like we have a few more people joining. Go ahead and sign into the chat. I'll introduce myself. Leslie Medley. I'm the HSA president. Thanks everyone for joining us for this important January Home and School Association meeting. We're going to go ahead and get started as people are still joining and signing in. And we'll start with, I see President Davis has joined us. We'll start with a presentation, school update presentation, and then we will have from President Davis, and then we'll have course selection process covered by Avi Snyder, I think, who's also joined. So welcome, and President Davis, take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Happy 2024. Happy New Year. Leslie, do you mind actually hitting back one slide? Is this the first one? Oh, okay. Well, welcome. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you. I'm joined this evening by a couple members of my team. Hi, Ms. Snyder, AP Snyder. Wonderful to see you all. I am really happy to give you the first update for the year. Next slide, please. And you can press because there's some text that comes up as well. I like to provide an update at the beginning of each home and school meeting just around what our school-wide attendance is looking like from the previous month of school. This is information that is monitored by the school district as it's one of the goals that the Board of Education looks at. So what you see on the left-hand side of your screen it's the grade level breakdown. Oh, and there's a typo. The top is supposed to say 12th grade, not 11th grade. But we have, as I shared in the last meeting, just the strongest percentage of daily attendance coming from our freshmen, our 9th grade class. And these are students who are attending school 95% or more of the time. This metric is only measuring your attendance minus it's not counting excused absences, it's only counting unexcused absences. So this is just a friendly reminder to continue sending in absence notes. We know that it can feel repetitive, but it is really, really important that we update our school records when your child is not present in the building. And of course, there are a number of reasons why absences are excused. If you are ever unsure, you can always call our main office, and notes go directly to each child's homeroom teacher. As a parent, it's really helpful when you're in the comments. If we can mute ourselves, that would be wonderful. It's really helpful to be looped in on the parent portal because you're able to see real live information about student attendance as well as grades. Of course, if your child is sick, and I was just speaking with some members of the home and school around the uptick of COVID, right? We absolutely want your child, if they are not feeling well, to be resting and feeling better at home, even if they have a test or a presentation. We definitely don't want your child feeling like they need to come to school sick. So always reach out, and if you can't get a response right away from a teacher, you can reach out to a member of our administrative team. Next slide, please. Students right now may have told you that we are completing the STAR exams across the school. This is a measure that is also monitored by the School District of Education's board. And we have a school-based goal around our participation as well as our performance rates in the areas of literacy and math. I know that the numbers are small, so I did my best to blow it up a little bit, but you can see the reading metrics are on the left-hand side and the math scores are on the right-hand side. The dark blue color indicates students who are meeting the grade level standard. That is the dark blue. The brighter blue color is students who are considered to be approaching close to the grade level standard. Orange is slightly behind, and red would be below the standard. This is information that's analyzed across our academic departments. We share it with teachers. We break it down on a class by class level, and students have access to their metrics as well. I will be honest in saying I don't think at Central this is the one that pays the most attention to. Do you mind as the host muting?
Through the next several days, when more rain will batter the air.
We have some news on behind us. Thank you. If you could just mute everybody, that would be awesome. But as a parent, if you ever have a question about a STAR exam or if you have a child in another school district school, they take it as well. So we are wrapping that up this Friday. Next slide, please. Wonderful. We had our first community service deadline happening on January 3rd when students returned from winter break. As you can see on this table, we tried something new this year with a reduced requirement for 9th and 10th graders and a staggered approach to community service for all students. If your child hasn't started their community service yet, there is still plenty of time. The final deadline is not until May the 6th. It is a rostered course for every child at Central High School, so it's really important that kids are paying attention to it. We know, especially post-COVID school closures, it can be difficult to find community service opportunities for teenagers. We have a lot of community service opportunities within the school building, but you can definitely ask your child's teachers if they're a part of a club. Many clubs do community service together, both inside and outside of school. If you have any questions about community service, you can drop it in the chat or reach out to one of our assistant principals. Next slide, please. Wonderful. So the next two slides are just some sort of fun updates at the school. Our arts department is putting on their annual show, and this year we are really excited to share that it is Matilda, Roald Dahl's Matilda, but it is Matilda the musical. It is coming up very soon. January 31st is the first showing after school at 3:30, and we have 2 evening shows on February 1st and 2nd. Tickets will be available to purchase at the door, but you can also purchase them ahead of time. It's a little bit easier and the lines are shorter. This is a screenshot on the right-hand side of what it looks like if you use the school cash online links, which are linked on our school's website. This is a way that you can purchase them electronically, and we will have a list of everyone who purchased them at the door. There are reduced rates for senior citizens, alumni, and students. So make sure that you're checking on the button that applies to you. As always, all proceeds benefit our arts department. They do incredible work with set design, with costume design, with music, and it's a show not to be missed. So make sure to check it out if you'd like to see it. Next slide. And I believe the last update that I have this evening is just around our winter athletics. Our athletic season is underway, and I've linked, I did this last month, the Instagram pages if you're someone who's on Instagram social media, where you can check out their latest stories, their latest photographs from games, announcements of things that are coming up. we will, in the next few months, be entering into playoff season, which is always very exciting. I know that our wrestling team had their final home match after school today, and we've seen a really phenomenal turnout with our basketball team home games as well. So make sure that you stay connected if you like to root for our athletics. I believe, Leslie, that was the last slide. I'm not sure if you click once more. Yeah, so I will definitely look into the chat. I think I saw a couple questions, and I am joined this evening by my wonderful assistant principal, Avi Snyder, who also is our roster chair. As I'm looking at the questions, I see a question from Shanice Johnson. Thank you, Judge Johnson. Our graduation information is going to be shared by Mr. Horowitz, the senior class sponsor, later on this month. I don't think I have permission yet to share it. We like to do a big announcement. I'd also like to welcome Rashida Polk, who is our Family and Community Engagement Liaison, who's logged on with us tonight, and she is in the chat. Rashida is awesome, and she can also answer any questions that folks have as they navigate Central High School. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Snyder, and thank you again. It's wonderful to see everybody in this new year.
Thank you, President Davis.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here with you. As President Davis said, I'm Avi Snyder. I'm one of the assistant principals at Central High School. Before becoming an assistant principal, I was the roster chair, and I continue to hold that role in addition to my role as assistant principal. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. Here you'll see just an overall timeline. So course selection is a process by which our students, our 10th grader or our 9th graders, 10th and 11th graders select their courses for the following year. Course selection is a unique process because students actually get to pick. If we wouldn't mind just, I think there's some unmuted folks. If we could just mute everyone, that would be great. So course selection is a process that is controlled by the school district of Philadelphia. So the district opens up a portal on Infinite Campus, which is the student information system that we use, and students have the ability to actually select their classes themselves. So we still do not have the exact date of when the district will open our portal, but typically it is the second week of February. Last year, we opened it at Central High School the third week in February. So we still have plenty of time. So I figured this would be a really great opportunity for me to come on and just preview the process. So these are just rough dates. But as you can see here, in the end of January, so probably that last week, I'm going to share a ton of information with our students. I will share them on our class Google Classroom pages. So each class 286 through 283 have Google Classroom pages monitored by their sponsors. I will share information directly there. I will share how-to presentations. I will share the subject selection guide. That is a manual that contains all of the courses that we will be offering. I will also post this information on the school website as well. Additionally, each department is going to host optional panels and presentations. These are going to take place both during advisory and after school. Students will be able to attend to learn about different classes. So the science department will host a panel where they have students and they share information about different electives like anatomy and forensics and some of our AP and IB course offerings. And that will also take place the last week of January and the first week of February. I will then do an assembly for each grade. So each grade will receive their own assembly. I actually do it over Zoom, and we do it during advisory. The reason why I do it over Zoom rather than having each grade in the auditorium is we find that the students are much more focused when they're with 30 students as opposed to 600 students. So I will present an assembly personalized to each grade. The homeroom teachers will show it on the smartboard to all the students during advisory. And this will be where I really show students how to select their classes. This process is exactly the same as it was last year. So other than the 9th graders, the 10th and the 11th graders are familiar with this process. They've done it before, but I will still show exactly how to register for classes and answer questions. Towards the end of February, the district will open up the portal. That is when students will be able to select their classes. The name of the portal is actually called My App, which stands for My Application Portal. So this is really where students get to see their academic plans and all sorts of different things that enable students to see the courses they've previously taken and see the courses they're going to take. It also allows them to plan out their courses until senior year. It obviously can change and will change many times over, but it's nice for students to plan it out so they can get a sense of what they have ahead. In addition to those assemblies, I will host virtual drop-ins every day during advisory, the week that the portal's open, and I will also host after-school drop-ins in the auditorium. Next slide, please. This is just an overview of basically the minimum amount of credits we like to see a student have at the end of each year. Okay, so this is as they're going into the grade they should have earned. These are very low numbers. 23.5 is the minimum amount of credits needed by the School District of Philadelphia in order to graduate from high school. Our students have many more credits than this. So our students, every single Central High School 9th grader who does not fail any courses will earn a minimum of 6.5 credits. So these numbers are the minimum amount of credits we like to see after a certain grade. Next slide, please. This is just a quick slide to show you parents, if you ever wanted to check how many credits your student has, you could do that. I will share, well, you will have this presentation from the home and school, but basically when you click in the parent portal, you'll see something that says documents. This will allow you to check out a variety of things like student transcripts, credit summaries, things like that. The good news is I really want to assure you, myself and my assistant roster chair, Amanda Glenn, we do this. And we really take it seriously. So we are monitoring credits every year of high school. So it's not like you would ever be the person to discover if your child was behind in credits. We monitor every grade level. We always reach out if a student is in need of credit recovery, either through summer school or through Edgenuity, which is our online credit recovery system. So this is something that we do, but if you're ever curious, feel free to check out the parent portal. Next slide, please. Okay, so this here, this is kind of, specific nuanced information. I just like to give an overview in case people are curious. So here you're gonna see, these are the requirements for every student in order to graduate from Central High School. And these are not Central specific, these are district-wide policies. So in order to graduate Central High School, a student needs the following. They need 2 credits of the same world language. So that means if they are in Spanish 1 as a freshman, they have to take Spanish 2. You cannot switch languages after freshman year without then taking another year of that same language. You need 2 years of the same language. Every student needs 2 credits of arts and humanities. Arts and humanities, it seems daunting because people are like, what if I don't want to take an art class? Arts and humanities is actually the most inclusive category of subjects. Arts and humanities classes include every single art class, every single music class, every single history or English elective. Examples would be public speaking, AP Human Geography, IB Social and Cultural Anthropology. And it even includes classes like IB Psychology. So there are tons of courses that fill the arts and humanities section. Every single Central 9th grader who passes their classes will earn a minimum of 1.5 arts and humanities. So they really have a pretty low amount of arts and humanities credits that they will need in order to meet that 2 credits. Every single student at Central High School needs 4 credits of English. That means levels 1 through 4. That can look like English 1, 2, 3, and 4, Or that can look like English 1, English 2 honors, English 3 AP or IB English 1, English 4 AP or IB English 2. All of those fulfill the English requirements. Same thing goes for history. Every single student at Central High School needs 4 history credits. Every 9th grader takes world. Every 10th grader takes African American history or AP African American history or honors African American history. Every junior either takes US or American history or AP US history or IB history 1. And then finally, senior year, you must take social science or AP Gov or IB history 2. Next, every single Central student has to take 3 credits in math. That is a minimum. So everyone's going to take a math class 9th grade. Most of our students will take Algebra 1. Some are at Algebra 2 to start. You need 3 credits. So the lowest amount of math classes you can get to is Algebra 2, but many of our students will, if they start in Algebra 2, will get to either pre-calc or the equivalent or the AP IB level calculus classes. Same thing goes for science. Everyone needs 3 credits of science. The bulk of our students will take bio. Well, every 9th grader takes bio. Every 10th grader takes physics. Most 11th graders take chemistry unless they are in the IB program, in which case they have a science choice, but everyone needs 3 credits of science. Then everyone needs either a 4th math or a 4th science or an AP or IB elective. So there are many ways to fill that 4th advanced credit category. Finally, 1.5 credits. So it's 1 of physical education and 0.5 of health. The last thing you'll see on your students' transcript when they are seniors is something called multidisciplinary project. It is not a class. It is simply a component of the senior year history class, and it is the senior project. So these are all of the things a student needs in order to graduate. Again, Ms. Glenn and I monitor this every single year. We track it very closely. We meet with all seniors who do not have the right classes selected, and we change their rosters with them within the first week of school, their senior year. So a student from Central will never not graduate because of the classes they take. The only way they wouldn't graduate would be if they were to fail a course and not recover the credit. Next slide, please. I'm just going to show you the sample schedules for each grade. So this is 10th grade here. So this would be if you are the parent of a current 9th grader, this is what your child's schedule is going to look like next year. English 2 or 2 honors, African American history honors or AP, geometry or geometry honors, physics honors or physics 1 AP, language 2 honors, or whatever the consecutive language course is. Some of our students come in at the 2 honors level, so they would move on to the 3 level. And then finally, they will have an elective. The elective for many 10th graders is a lot of students will choose to double up in math. If they choose to double up in math, that elective would become Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 honors. The reason why students double up in math is if they want to reach the calculus level. It is certainly not required, but for a student who likes math and who is strong in math, it is something that is very popular. It is by far and away our most popular 10th grade elective. Next slide, please. 11th grade. So this is a traditional schedule. I will also cover what an IB schedule looks like. Every 11th grader is going to take English 3 or AP English 3, US History or AP US History, Chemistry honors or AP Chemistry, Algebra 2. If you've already taken Algebra 2 or the equivalent of it, you will have an elective. PE and Health, it's 1 class, and then an elective. And that elective can be anything, honors, AP, IB, etc. Next slide. This is an 11th grade IB schedule, because remember, the IB program is going to look different. Obviously, non-IB students are more than welcome to take IB electives, but if you are in the IB diploma program, this is what your schedule is going to look like. IB English, IB History. You're going to choose a higher level class of your choosing. I actually, on this presentation, I linked a document that shows you how to build the schedule. They will take an IB math class. We have 3 different levels. They will take theory of knowledge, IB world language, And then depending on their HL, it might be a science, it might be a math, but there is some choice there. Next slide, please. 12th grade traditional schedule. English 4 or AP English 4. Social science, that is a social studies class. I know it sounds confusing. AP Gov or IB Global Politics actually fulfills that requirement, and you don't need to be in the IB diploma program to take that class. That 4th year, as I mentioned, of the math or science or AP or IB elective. And then they have lots of electives, 3 electives, technically 4, if you think of that 4th year math or science. If a senior wants a study skills is an extra free period in addition to lunch. We allow all of our seniors who meet credit requirements. So if they failed a class and haven't made the credit up, we do not permit them to take a study skills, but as long as they meet credit requirements, they are eligible for a study skills. They can take that study skills, but we ask that they select 6 classes during subject selection. And then later in the year, typically in March or April, I will send out a Google Doc and I will ask students, do you want to study skills and what do you want to drop for that free period? Next slide, please. This is the 12th grade IB schedule, similar IB English 2, IB History 2, the 2nd year, whatever higher level course you took. You're going to need an IB SL elective, IB Theory of Knowledge, and IB World Language. Language is required all 4 years if you are in the IB program, unless you were ahead. Next slide, please. I will, as I mentioned, I will be posting the subject selection guide for students at the end of January. I will also email out all of these same documents to the entire parent population at Central. So as long as you are signed up on Infinite Campus to receive email, so as long as we have your email address, you will receive an email from me with all of the same subject selection materials that I share with students. That should be coming in the next 2-ish, 3 weeks. Next slide, please. Okay, this is where I tend to get some questions. So this is the policy for admission to upper level courses. At Central High School, we used to test into subjects, meaning each department would offer exams and students would have to score a certain score in order to take an AP or IB class. We don't do that anymore. After 2020, we changed the policy. Our goal in changing the policy was to be more inclusive. We find that as we reduce barriers to entry, more students are brave enough, have the courage, have the confidence to take our upper level courses. So we have no testing requirements. The only requirement that is required to get admissions into an AP or IB or honors course at Central is that the student must have earned an 80 or better in the previous subject group. So here is an example. Let's say a student wants to take AP Computer Science. That is a math course at Central. They must have earned an 80 or better in their previous math courses. Another example, let's say a student wants to take English 2 honors. They needed to have earned an 80 or higher in English 1. That is the only what we call barrier to entry for Central High School upper level courses. We offer as many sections of core courses as we can. The goal is that everyone who qualifies should be able to take it. In terms of electives, we do sometimes have to offer a limited number of spots. That is solely based on teachers and teacher availability. We can only offer as many sections of electives as we have core classes. So we are not looking at quarter grades. If a student earned a C during 1 quarter, it doesn't matter. We're only looking at overall grades in that specific subject. That is the only criteria. We will be offering optional diagnostic tests. So departments, when they do that programming for students, will give students the ability to take a diagnostic test if they want to see if it's the right fit. Our AP and IB and honors courses are challenging. Our standard courses are very challenging at Central. That's why we weight our standard courses so high. They're weighted at a 1.1 because we know they're challenging. The diagnostics would give students the ability to see if they think they're a good fit. Optional, completely. But I do always recommend students, asking questions, talking to their teachers, talking to their friends about courses. We are really trying to crack down at Central on late drops of courses. We have an add drop period in September. We have really been much stricter of late in letting kids drop their classes late into the school year. The reason being, it is very disruptive to their schedules and also to teacher schedules. So we really like students to make informed decisions, which is why we're going to put on so many assemblies and panels and programs so that students can really learn if classes are the right fit for them. Next slide, please. This you can just go through really quickly. This is really just how a student's going to do it. So a parent can't do this, but they certainly can sit with their child as the student picks their classes. So a student's going to log in the way they log in every day in order to see their grades. Next slide. They're going to see here when they click on the three horizontal lines, they're going to see this table. Next slide, please. They're going to click on academic plan. Remember I said my app, my academic plan? Exactly. They're going to click it and it's going to look just like this. So I'm going to walk students through this process, but basically they'll go and they will type the class that they're going to take in. We monitor this, so we really try to inform students, and we do set some prerequisites in the system so that a 9th grader can't select AP English 4, but sometimes they do pick the wrong classes. Miss Glenn and I, as I mentioned, really monitor this closely, so we catch those mistakes. I promise you, your child's not going to be placed in, a senior level English class as a sophomore. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is just exactly what it looks like when they click a class. Same thing. You can change it by hitting the X. It'll go away. Next slide, please. Same thing. Next slide. Next slide. They're just going to click save. I do ask every student to pick 3 alternates. Alternates are only for electives, but sometimes our electives are full. So I ask each student to pick 3 alternates. The only time they don't need an alternate is if they're sophomores and they want to double up. If a student wants Algebra 2, they can get Algebra 2. Next slide. Finally, this is my last slide. These links, these are last year's links. I will update them, but I use an interactive Google form for students to write questions. So basically, a student will type a question and I answer it within a few hours. So last year we had hundreds and hundreds of questions asked on each class. It was great. It'd be like, I'm in this math class. What's the right math class for me? I do it. It's anonymous. So other students can't see their names or ID numbers. So there's no way to identify. And then I answer the question. If it's something really private, I'll say like, connect with me offline and I'll provide my email address. This is a really effective way to answer a lot of questions really quickly. And again, I will post these question forms when I post all the materials in a couple weeks. And I will also email this out to you, record my presentations, and I will share the videos with parents as well if they want to watch the videos and then help their child select classes. I think that's it, but let's check and see if there's any more. Nope, that's it. Okay, let me open up the chat and see if I have any questions. I got nothing. Anybody have any questions for me?
Well, it was a thorough presentation.
I love it. I'm
Maybe you
grateful.
answered everything.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. Again, always feel free to reach out. I am quite accessible. If you ever have any questions, I'll type my email in the chat, but feel free to reach out with anything. Also, my office, dual enrollment. Okay. I did get a quick, it's not a question, but I can explain the dual enrollment process. Dual enrollment is something offered by the School District of Philadelphia. At Central, the only program that we work with directly, we have a dual enrollment with LaSalle students. I receive an application link from LaSalle. They usually send it out to me at the end of the spring. I send it to students. It's only for juniors and seniors, and they can apply for a few different programs. They have a summer scholars program and they have a community scholars program. It's a great opportunity. They take one class at LaSalle each semester, and then they are rostered for the rest of their classes at Central. There is also a dual enrollment option with the Community College of Philadelphia. It is what's called SIOP, which stands for Senior Year Only Program. It is only for seniors. It's not my favorite, and I'll be honest, and that's because if you're in SIOP, you do not come to Central. So you don't come at all. There's not one day during the year that you attend Central, but it is a wonderful program. If we have about 2 students per year who do SIOP. Great question. How do students fulfill the PE requirement to graduate? If they're in IB, we actually co-roster students in TOK, which stands for Theory of Knowledge, and PE and Health. So they take some TOK and some PE and Health each week. It actually works really well because Theory of Knowledge is a required IB course, but it's only required for what equates to about 1.25 years of school. So we use that other 0.75 to fill the PE and Health requirement. So you won't see it as its own class, but it is a split roster between Theory of Knowledge and PE and Health. All right.
It's like, I don't think we have any other questions.
Okay, good. Well, it was great being here. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful night, everyone.
Thank you so much for a wonderful presentation.
Okay, have a good night.
Good night. We are on to the treasurer's report, and Nina Lou is here for that.
Great, thanks, Leslie. So I'll just be quick about it. So during the month of December, we had, we had income of about 5,200. Balance, most of it came from individual donations, whether through end of the year giving and or Giving Tuesday. And then we also did some spiritware sales as well, as I think as some of you know. And so there was some revenue from that. We paid out, as you're aware, we are doing $2,000 departmental grants. So we wrapped up the English department grant. So they did spend most of their $2,000. There was senior class activities, of which we supported donuts for the senior sunrise. We are starting to plan for a spring auction. And so we just paid the venue cost deposit on that. And Robin, who's up next, will talk more about that. And then, and then we just had some miscellaneous costs. So overall, a pretty quiet one.
Thanks, Nina. That's great. Fundraising, Robin Dominic. Is Robin on? She may have had to hop off, so I'll just go through it really quickly. Spiritware, the t-shirt sales, t-shirts and sweats that you see on sale, they are being delivered at the moment. The current projects funded by donations through the HSA are the departmental grants. The furniture for the student lounge in the hallway is being purchased now. There is also furniture to be purchased for room 241. Room 40, we are very happy to report, has just had new flooring installed. And we are going to have pictures to show before and after pictures to show everyone where your donations have gone and how they've improved that space. And we've also helped to support some student events, some of which Nina mentioned. We are continuing our Caring for Central fundraiser. Donations to the HSA go to support all of these projects. And as Nina mentioned, the Central auction is going to take place May 4th at the Discovery Center in Fairmount Park, a beautiful, beautiful space. I'm getting some messages from Robin. I'm probably not saying everything she wants me to say. She's having issues with her audio. And Robin will be sending out information. Yes, meetings to start planning for the spring auction will begin in about a week or so, and she'll be sending out messages looking for volunteers or to reach out to people who've already volunteered. So thank you, Robin, for those updates. Next up is campus beautification, and I think we have Terry Jack on. Terry, are you there? Sorry about that. I'll do Terry's. This coming up, we are working, Terry is working to plan a cleanup in the building on January 30th. It'll be a great opportunity for students to volunteer and get some community service hours if they still need. And we will have more information going out in probably next week regarding that. And that will be to help prepare the space for Matilda, the school play or musical, which begins on Wednesday, the 31st. Oh, there's Terry. Terry, you can finish if you like.
Sorry, can you hear me now? I had
yes.
my
Go right ahead.
my mic switched. Can you hear me? Okay,
yes.
Awesome. Yeah, we're just hoping to clean up entranceways and hallway and maybe the seating around the auditorium. There will be, I'll send out an email with details. Hopefully parents and students who are available for that cleanup. Like to use the mulch that we have to winterize some of the newer trees, which potentially could be done on January 30th also. But and the patio planters, we are trying to work with the gardening club to get those ready for the spring. Anyone interested in any campus beautification, either what's listed or what we know about or in the future, please email me and I will keep you updated. And if you have any plant connections, like I know some people have lots of Bartram's gardens and that sort of thing that we could utilize plant donations for the spring. Particularly interested in that too. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Terry. I don't know if Rita has joined us for the Anti-Racism Network update, but she did update her slides, so I can go through it. The mission of the Central High School Anti-Racism Network aims to make Central a safe and anti-racist space through education and advocacy. Their next meeting is Sunday, January 14th, this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. They also do fundraising, and that is to support a speaker, which I guess their guest speaker is featured in our March meeting. We had a wonderful speaker last year, and they also fundraise for scholarships that go to students, seniors at graduation. So two wonderful goals of the committee. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to Rita Robinson, who wears two hats. She's a lead for the network, Anti-Racism Network, and also the vice president of the HSA, and her email is there. The Safety Coalition doesn't have any updates for tonight, but I'll just read their mission. I know that Michelle Lopez, who heads up the Safety First Coalition, is always looking for parents interested in working with her on this mission, which is to improve the community and the mental health equity and physical safety of our students, particularly in regards to violence and anti-bullying. And this coalition sprung from bullying and some incidents that took place, particularly on SEPTA, and they invited a speaker for last year to speak to students and parents regarding being an upstander and how to handle bullying situations. Michelle will hopefully join us for the next month's meeting and have more updates from them. This is a list of our HSA committees. You've heard from most of them tonight. We are always looking for more parent volunteers for all of these committees. And we would welcome your help. You can, if you're interested, reach out to us through the parent listserv, through this chat, to let us know if you'd like to work on any of the committees or for a particular event. We've had some great help this year from parents already. And this is a list of more volunteers, our class representatives who we're going to hear from with class updates. Let's see. I don't know if we have any updates for.
Oh, did they not make it to you?
283.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Jamie. Thanks. I don't see them here, but if you want to, I don't know, just run through them.
You know what? Hold on. I don't know. They didn't make it there, but let's see.
Do you want to share your screen?
Horowitz is talking about class dues collection. This is super important. If you haven't paid your class dues, pay them. They are during homeroom. You can pay with cash or a check, payable to Central High School. And there is a spreadsheet where you can search your student's ID number to see your balance. And after I'm done talking, I will put that in the chat. Central Night at the Phillies is May 3rd. They're playing the San Francisco Giants. Tickets are $35. You can buy online. We just passed the deadline for yearbook messages, for yearbook ads. And there is a ski trip on February 16th. And I don't know if that's 283 only or if that also includes 282 or anyone else, but they really need chaperones. So if skiing or hanging out around skiing is your jam, then reach out to Mr. Horowitz about that, February 16th. Thanks, Leslie.
Thanks, Jamie. Excuse me. I think we have Amy Arcaro on for the 284 update.
Hi. Yes, so 284 is going ice skating on January 26th. You only have to pay $20 and you get your rental, hot chocolate, and ice time. You can pay that at school cash online or in homeroom. They collect money in homeroom too. They're just going to jump on the Broad Street line after 5th period and depart at 1:20, and then they get to skate. I forget how long they skate, maybe until 4 o'clock. But it sounds like a really good deal. Chaperones are still needed, so please reach out to Ms. Zesserman if you want to help. Ms. Zesserman has answers to all of this information, and her email is up there if you would like to reach out to her. The ring ceremony. For students that ordered rings, your rings will be in and given to you on January 30th between 8 and 9 o'clock at a little breakfast reception. That's when you'll receive your rings. Families are invited, students are invited, and an invitation will be sent to you via email. College application news. So alumni Victor Seamus Kagan, he's going to be coming to Central this tomorrow, and he's going to be talking about Yale, things that he knows about Yale and Yale admissions, because he's an expert in that. And if you would like, please go to the conference center tomorrow, the Spain's Conference Center tomorrow at 8:15 a.m. during homeroom to meet with him. There's a full ride scholarship opportunity through the Coolidge Scholarship Fund, and you can just go to that website. But the deadline is January 18th. It's coming up, so please go to your students 284 page to get this information. There's also other scholarship opportunities. I looked through it. There's a whole page of them with deadlines and and applications to fill out. So this is the time that we're starting to look for these opportunities during the junior year. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Amy. Next is 285 and Debbie Mazer.
Hello. We don't have much. I'm not sure why interesting. My updates didn't come. And I sent.
Oh.
I think it was just reminding everyone about the baseball game. I forget when that is, the Phillies night. And then there will be a spring dance. Hold on, let me just see what she called it in March. Hold on 1 second.
For the Phillies, I think Jamie just dropped a link in the chat or information in the chat about that.
Because the old link only went to the price that was the old, like the before the holidays price. In March there will be a soft hop.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought I sent, but I don't know.
Okay. Do you have a date for the soft hop? I don't know.
Oh, no, she said it will be announced. She's not sure yet. But these are all passed.
Okay.
And I have no idea who won the door decorating contest.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And no worries. There are no updates for 286. I think a lot of the announcements apply. A few of the announcements apply to a number of classes. Next, we have the Alumni Association update. If she's not, I can just talk through the slide. Their Leading the Way capital campaign continues. They're 3/4 of the way to reaching their goal, and hope that through the support of parents and the Home and School Association, they'll be able to provide greater opportunities for our Lancer students. If you or someone you know is interested in joining or has experience in development, fundraising, or capital campaigns, they are looking for parents, faculty, and student voices. The executive director for the Alumni Association is Cynthia Lech, and her email address is here, as well as her phone number. And of course, she also mentions that if your family, company, or foundation is interested in making a major gift, to please contact her about that as well. Oh, the second slide. Junior and senior student ambassador internships. If your student is seeking community service hours or would like to gain more experience in becoming a tour guide or networking opportunities with the alumni at our school or at after school events, please contact, again, Cynthia. And if you're looking for a graduation gift, auditorium seat or license plate options are available. I believe that's the end of their slides. This is a list of our upcoming meetings. Next month will be our winter Title I meeting led by President Davis and Assistant Principal Scott, Dr. Scott. And our March meeting will be, we'll have a guest speaker from the Anti-Racism Network, and we're hoping to include a second guest speaker on college readiness and an SAT discussion. And here is the list of some of our upcoming dates and events. Something I wasn't aware of until President Davis mentioned during our meeting earlier today was Martin Luther King Day. Schools are closed Monday the 15th, and on Tuesday, school begins at 11 a.m. Students report at 11 a.m. So they have a late start the second day. And that is also the start of midterms, which runs from January 16 to 19. And then you can see some other things that were mentioned already, the Matilda performance, term 2 report card conferences at the beginning of February, and a couple of early dismissals, and President's Day school is closed. So that is our last slide. I'm going to look and see if there are any questions for any of the speakers, or just a reminder that Jamie Cudera has put some information on the Phillies here, the ski trip itinerary, and how to pay dues. So there are links for all of those. You can also search for your students by your student's ID number for the payment status for class dues. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. And we will have a recording of this and the December meeting available hopefully next week, or by the end of this week, early next week, for both meetings on the HSA page. And Esther will be sending out information on those. I want to wish everybody a good night, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.